Hello, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. My name is Jay Walker. I am an actor and an impressionist, and I do a lot of weird, crazy voices. And I don't really get to use those in my day-to-day normal job. So I have all these voices, and this is a way for me to kind of like practice and have fun with them. So here's the way it works. I'm going to read a story from Reddit. Super dramatic or weird or creepy. Today's theme is creepy, so it's like creepy, spooky stuff. And as I'm reading it, I want everybody in the chat to think, what character would you like to hear this story be reacted to? That grammatically worked. Kinda. What character you want me to react as to whatever story I just read. So it could be like Donkey or Puss in Boots or Rick and Morty, or, you know, whatever strikes your fancy. Whatever gets the most votes in chat, that's what I'm going to do. Even if it's one that I don't necessarily know, I will pull up a video and try to imitate the voice, and we can see if I'll learn the voice. And that's that. So, how about we get to it? Oh, the cozy Acon. Oh man, that's a dope. I don't know if I said that right, but what up? The cozy Acon. Almost sounds like Akon. Akon and young Jeezy.
Ooh, the old man from Family Guy is absolutely creepy. He might have some opinions about these stories we're going to be talking about tonight. But it's up to y'all, not up to me.
All right. So I started a little bit late because I had this idea and I wanted to execute on it, which is, check this out. Voila! We can have the story on the screen, the title at least. Bang, bang. Okay. Here we go. I gotta turn my music down a little bit, 'cause I can't hear. All right. Am I the asshole for being angry that my roommate was sleeping under my bed for months without telling me? I'm already just gonna say no. Just no. But let's see what the story is, shall we? I, a 24-year-old man, have lived with my roommate, Carl, who's also 24, for 2 years. A few months into rooming with him, he told me he was pansexual. I said, okay, cool. I'm not interested in that personal information, nor am I judgmental. I said, all right, that is a good response. Also, totally respect that. It's like, not my business. I don't care. You're my roommate. I don't need to know everything about you. Just don't be a creep, right? Too much to ask, I think. A few times over the last year, he has asked me if I had ever considered experimenting with other men. I said, nope. Also, I said I didn't feel comfortable with him asking me such a personal question. It's not like we're close friends. We're only roommates by happenstance, basically. Anyway, every time I said this, he basically said, we'll see. I was like, what? Okay, first of all, good on you, Slumbering 3, for creating a boundary. You created a very clear boundary super early. You said, I don't like you asking me about this stuff, so don't. Yeah? Are we good? And then this dude continued asking. This can only get better. And by better, I mean worse. Anyway, last night I had a horrifying experience. It's already been pretty horrifying, but I heard a noise under my bed. It was movement. At first, I thought I was imagining things. But then I heard it again. I thought, oh God, is it a mouse or a rat or some shit? My God, this was like 3 a.m. So I got out of bed and looked under with my phone flashlight. Now this here was the most startling moment of my life. I guess I'm lucky because I've never before this moment felt true terror and fear as a physical sensation. But I was completely jolted. There under my bed was my roommate staring wide-eyed at me, and he screeched when I looked under the bed. Nope, no, no, No. That. Heck no. Heck no. I literally thought I was having a heart attack. I then just started hearing, sorry, 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 sorry. My roommate crawled out from under the bed, crying, apologizing over and over. I was so creeped out and afraid that I ran out of the apartment in my pajamas. There was a Dunkin' Donuts that was open 24/7 a few blocks away, so I just sat in there with a decaf and a breakfast sandwich with my heart thundering away. My roommate kept texting me, asking me to talk. I ignored it. Yeah, I mean, the audacity. We already know this dude doesn't respect boundaries, but the audacity to be like, why are you ignoring me? I know I was just under your bed. Why are you Get out of here, dude. In the texts, it gets worse. In the texts, he found a way to horrify me even further. He confessed he had been sleeping under my bed a few nights a week for 3 or 4 months. No! And that he was doing it to get closer to me and physically saturate each other? The F? Yeah, the F? What the? Who? I don't want to believe this is real. But humans, dude, humans are like this. People are crazy. I waited for him to go to work and I ran into the apartment, got my essentials, and left. I am currently crashing with a buddy. Our lease is up in 1 month. My intention is simply to not renew. Obviously. This dude is blowing up my phone and I'm getting texts from other people, some friends of mine and some bozos who are friends with him. He's going around telling people I shamed him and that I'm rejecting his apologies. I'm mad. Like, I'm getting hot. This makes me so mad. Some people are claiming I'm overreacting and invalidating his feelings. Yo, F this dude's feelings. Yo, this guy has objectively bad feelings. You know, sometimes people say, your feelings aren't wrong. That's just not true for this one person. Maybe this is the only person in all of human history whose feelings are wrong. And we need to invalidate his feelings. If you're looking at this, my guy, your feelings are wrong and bad, and you should feel bad. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Some people are claiming I'm overreacting and invalidating his feelings. Most people agree he was improper, but think I should work it out with him and give a second chance because he's sensitive. I feel like I'm losing my mind, and I am seriously 20% convinced I am experiencing a long lucid dream of some sort and wondering if I'm going to wake up or am I in a coma or something, because this is so insane to me. Like, not really, but maybe really. I mean, what the F? So am I the asshole or is everyone around me a effing nut? I think y'all know how I feel. But that's not why we're here. We're not here to see what Jay thinks. We're here to see whatever character y'all want Jay to speak as thinks. Right? Okay. We need to choose a character here. So who's it gonna be? Who is it going to be? I'm gonna read some chat while you guys decide. The guy's so weird, the guy should ghost the roommate for sure. I've never wanted somebody to get haunted. I think the roommate should get haunted. Like, past the room getting ghosted, they need to get a ghost. A mean one, you know? That sleeps under its bed. Okay, we got a Rick. We got a Donkey. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Back to basics. Luther Obama's anger translator. That's a funny idea. That's a really funny idea. Oh, Lindsay, you can't change your vote like that. Lindsay gives me a brilliant idea and then backs off. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna put that one in the bank. We're gonna put it in the bank. Save it for later. There will be, if we want to come back to that, there's some other stories that I think will elicit a little bit of anger. For sure. Okay. You know, when it comes down to it, some people just need to get blasted through a portal, and I think this guy's a pretty good candidate. You know, hey, maybe we should just send him to another dimension where everybody sleeps under beds, like the normal people sleep under beds, and the creeps all sleep above the beds. Yeah, that'd be a nice. Hey, he'd be perfectly at home there. You know, I've been there. It's not a good place. They do weird stuff with their feet, but it's normal there. He seems like he'd be into that. Everybody's pansexual. It's great, and they all sleep under beds. By the way, there's no correlation between those two things. Okay, for the record. I think we should just put him in a place where, you know, his behavior is normal. Because it's not here. That really gives me the heebie-jeebies. Do you know how hard it is to give Rick the heebie-jeebies? That's crazy. Hey, anybody else want to know how long this dude was at? How long were you at Dunkin' Donuts? It said he waited until his roommate left for work, so was he just there for like hours, just contemplating his life, getting texts from friends that were like, oh, maybe you need to give this guy a shot. Hey, by the way, you need to get all different friends. If even one single person texted you and said, oh, you're just being too hard on this guy that was sleeping under your bed for months. Oh man, that's crazy. I've seen a lot of messed up stuff in my day, but that really takes the cake. Oh, what a creep. Man, I'm stressed. We already had Rick react to one story. And we got another one that is... Here's the funny thing. Funny thing about, like, going on trips with TFIL and the occasion... I've done, like, a couple, like, ghost hunts and exploring spots, places that are spooky or paranormal or, you know, whatever. And you may notice if you see me in those videos, I'm looking for people. I'm always looking for somebody who made this their home and we're just like in their space. There's somebody who uses this as, you know, a spot to deal drugs or whatever. Or, you know, it's like we're in these places and I always have my head on a swivel. I'm usually carrying something in my hand so I can just be like, hey, get away. That being said, I'm reading these stories. The human ones are the ones that really get to me because we have just so much evidence of how bad and weird and creepy people can be. And the spooky stuff, don't get me wrong. There's like a lot of weird, creepy, scary stuff. But you can be on the fence about that. I'm on the fence about that. I've experienced weird things, but still, there's explanations. This stuff, it's like, yeah, it's people. It's people being people. And you can always count on people to be people. So, moving on to the next story. If you are just joining, hello, welcome. My name is Jay Walker. I'm an actor and an impressionist. I'm a voice actor. I do a lot of weird, goofy voices and impressions, and I don't really get to do the impressions in my actual job. So I'm going to do them here. I read a story from Reddit, and the chat gets to choose what character I react as. I have a list that will be populated in the chat there, or I almost had it there or there, depending on if you're watching on Twitch or a vertical platform. And yeah, chat chooses what character I react as, and then we just keep it ripping. So, welcome. Whoo! Shall we get on to story number 2? Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna re-chat a little bit. Y'all, thank you for sticking around through the craziness. People be peopling. I'm saying, Candace, people be peopling. Humans gon' hume. I say it all the time. I actually do. Humans gonna hume. Humans gonna hume. Ghost hunting that I've done during the travel ones. Have you guys seen them? Have they come out yet? What country was that? You have not. Wait. No, you haven't. You haven't yet seen all of them, I don't think. I think there's a few. I don't know. Anyway, not out yet. Moving on. Story number 2. Never, ever pick up a hitchhiker. This was submitted to LetsNotMeet. So, this was told to me by an old family friend, Nikki. Numerous times as a kid growing up, as one of those life advice stories to keep in mind through the years. And to her credit, I have never forgotten it. This must be good advice. Whenever anything associated with hitchhiking comes up, it always springs to mind and probably always will. Makes me a little bit ill whenever I think about it, actually. So, Nikki, who grew up at the same time as my dad, so this was about early 80s, I believe, was a young woman in her mid-20s. She's one of those real kind-hearted souls. I already hate this, by the way. A young woman in her mid-20s and it's a hitchhiking story? Can't go anywhere good. She's one of those real kind-hearted souls, always willing to help another out in a time of need, you know? And I can't imagine her being anything other than that when she was younger, so I totally see her doing this too. So, driving into the city, about 2 hours or so, a 2 hour or so drive from out of town, she saw a man walking down the side of the road. As she neared, he turned and, in typical hitchhiker manner, stuck out the old arm and thumb. Nikki, bless her heart, pulled over and asked him if he needed any help. Don't do that. Don't do that. A stranger on the side of the road, don't do that. No, you keep driving. If you're really... Don't do that. She told me he was really polite, if not a bit shy, when he asked for a lift into the city. Nikki gave a smile and popped open the passenger door for the guy, who tossed his bag into the back seat and buckled up for the ride ahead. They talked pleasantly for most of the trip, about friends, the news, etc. You know, happy small talk. She felt that they were getting on really well and even bought him dinner at the pit stop a little over halfway there. She says he seemed really flustered and awkward when she paid, but one of the things they had talked about was money and how he was pretty dang strapped for cash, which was why he was hitchhiking in the first place. But he eventually relented and they went on their way. That's nice. Hey, I mean, she shouldn't have been in this situation in the first place, but she's like a very kind-hearted person. I love that. They're so good. As soon as they got into the city, he thanked her profusely for the ride and food and asked to be dropped off once they hit downtown. Before getting out, he asked for Nikki's phone number so he could contact her someday and catch up. Thrilled at the prospect of knowing how her new friend was faring, Nikki wrote it down for him and drove off with the warm feeling of a good deed done. Good on ya. Now, I'm sorry if you were expecting something creepy to have happened by now, but I think this is what freaked me out so much as a kid. How nice everything seemed to have worked out. Nikki gets this crease in her forehead and a funny look in her eye when she tells me the next part. How a week later, she got a call from her driving buddy. He didn't let her get a word in edgewise after hello and told her, wait for it, she should thank God that she was raised so nice. Because when he first got in her car, he was planning on raping and murdering her once they got to that pit stop. That he was going to steal that car and dump her body in a ditch further down the road and go on his merry way. But after she talked with him so kindly and treated him to dinner with a smile on her face, he couldn't bring himself to do it. Hate this. He didn't think that he could ever live with himself after doing that to such a nice lady. And to please, Nikki, please, never, ever pick up another hitchhiker. What character would you guys like to see me react to this as? Because I feel like basically any character that you choose is going to have a lot to say about Miss Nikki and this John Wayne Gacy dude. I mean, wow. Humans. Never, ever pick up a hitchhiker. Never, ever. Don't. Don't do it. That's a mistake. Don't. Oh. I got a bot in Twitch. That's a quick ban. While you guys decide what character. Unless you're an Uber driver and don't care about your life. That's funny. Why can't I mod? And since I don't want that just chilling in my chat. Hey chat, hello. There we go. Okay. Denzel Sherman from Nutty Professor. I can't even think of Sherman. All I can think of is Hercules. Oh yeah. What did he sound like? I mean, it's Eddie Murphy, so. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I watched The Nutty Professor. Have you guys watched the Jerry Lewis version of The Nutty Professor, which is the original? It's a classic. It's great. All right, I think it's got to be Denzel, right? It's got to be. All right. Okay. So, Nikki learned a lesson in the best way she possibly could. Okay? That could have ended a lot worse in a whole lot of different ways. And that's the truth. She is lucky to have escaped with her life. If you see someone on the side of the road, unless you can take them, let it go. All right? Why don't you just drive on by? Live to help another day. You have no idea what this person, where they came from, what they're carrying, what their plans are, what their intentions are, and you're just going to bring them into your vehicle? And Nikki, we don't know what she looked like, but I'm guessing she's a young, sweet 20-year-old woman. Probably weighs a $120 soaking wet. No weapons, no nothing. What is she going to do? If the worst came to the worst, If this man actually decided to act out his intention, what would she do? Nothing. That's a mistake. She learned a very valuable lesson, and I hope you learned that lesson too. It's good to have a kind heart, but it's good to have a smart brain. Use it. You got both for a reason. Don't let one outweigh the other. Not when it comes to matters of personal safety. Okay? You pick up the telephone, and you can call the non-emergency line. There's a creepy dude who I think might need some help. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said he's creepy. There is a man on the street who may need help. Or he may be a psycho killer. I'm unable to ascertain the difference. Why don't you go check it out? Problem solved. Absolutely. You just sounded like the Denzel from Remember the Titans. That is one of my favorite Denzels. Sunshine. Come on, sunshine. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with anything I've said. Okay, that woman is lucky to have escaped with her life and her dignity intact. And I'm glad that everyone here will know in the future not to do the same thing. There's a lot of scammers, okay? A lot of people willing to take advantage of a kind heart. There are predators in the streets. Predators. That is hard to say as Denzel. Denzel loves to give a speech. And if I gave a speech as good as Denzel, you know I'd love to give a speech too. Just totally unplanned. Denzel walks into a locker room. It doesn't matter the team. It doesn't matter the sport. He could walk into it. He could go to the French Open. Walk into the locker room. There's just one guy with his tennis racket. It's been a long road to get here. You and your racket. An undeniable duo. Now, what are we going to do? Are you going to walk out there, look at all those adoring fans, and give anything less than 110%? No, you are not. You are making history today. This is a moment that will be recorded in the record books for all time. How will you show up? Are you going to bring half of yourself? Are you going to be bogged down by doubt and fear? No. You're going to go show the world exactly who you are. Now, who are you? I'm sorry, what'd you say? Who are you? That's right. You're a machine. Now, you go do that work. You go do that work. Tennis players just like, why is Denzel in my walk? Why is he here? Who let him in? I mean, thank you. I am so inspired. And I will go win now. But how did this happen? Why? Why did this happen? There's legitimately videos of Denzel. Like, I think I've seen a couple. Don't quote me on that as I say this into a live stream, which you can absolutely quote me. I think there's at least a couple of times where Denzel has given a rousing speech in a locker room for a professional sports team. It's so good. It's so good. I wish that I had a Denzel, like the Denzel, just like, you know, when you're feeling like you just need a little kick in the butt to be the best version. There is no one better on earth to give that speech. No one. All right, come on. Come on. Let's see what you got. Okay? Because I know there is greatness inside you. I know there is greatness. I can see it. I just need for you to see it yourself. Come on. Giving speeches at colleges? Yeah, this man gives a good speech. This man gives a phenomenal speech. Fantastic speech. Every time. All right, everybody say goodbye to Denzel. Say goodbye to Mr. Washington. Okay? Whew. That was a good one. And look at this. The camera didn't turn off one time the entire time. We fixed it. We did it. We did it. You and I together. We did it, chat. We did it. All right. Now on to the next. Every time I like queue up the next story, I looked over it quickly, didn't really fully take it in, and I'm just, oh, they're all so stressful. All right. This next one is a story from Let's Not Meet. Title, Our Camera Never Catch Him. I changed it in this to Our Camera Never Catches Him because that is the grammatically correct way to say it. But the actual title, if you wanted to Google it, is Our Camera Never Catch Him. ... Okay. Throwaway, because girlfriend knows my main. Earlier this year, my girlfriend, who's 29, and her sister inherited a cabin. Oh, by the way, sorry. I'm going to start over. If you're just joining, hello, welcome. I'm reading the story as me, and afterward, chat will tell me what character they'd like me to respond as. So that is you. You are chat. Hello, chat. Welcome. Glad to have you. It may be in a list that it will populate on the screen in the chat. Or if you have a voice that you're like, I think I'd like to hear this, put it in the chat. If I don't know it, I'll try it. If everybody wants me to try it, I'll try it. We just got Luther the Obama's anger translator, which is not on my list, but that's so funny that we're going to figure out a way to do it. So, hello, welcome. All right, moving on. Earlier this year, my girlfriend, who's 29, and her sister inherited a cabin when their mom passed away. Sorry to hear that. It's a nice place with a private lake and everything where my mother-in-law used to spend 9 months out of the year alone. 9 months? Why? Since June, my brother-in-law, who's 36, and I, who am 31, a 31-year-old man, have been spending weekends there fixing it up. We've done minor repairs, built a second bedroom, put a pier up for the kids, that sort of thing. We've had a couple visitors over the weeks. People who knew my mother-in-law came by to give condolences, locals curious over the renovations we were doing. So far, everyone has been really nice and civil. Sounds like a pretty nice community. We've put up a private property sign at the start of the lot, and for the most part, people have respected it. Worst we got was a Ford F-150 that came into the parking lot reversed and went away. We know it's an F-150 because since we aren't there during the week and it's a couple hours away from home, my sister-in-law insisted we set up a surveillance camera. It gets relevant later. Boy, does it. Last month, I went there by myself because the in-laws were attending a wedding. No good story ever starts with, I went there by myself for the first time ever. Dun, dun, dun. I didn't mind because nothing I had planned for the weekend really required 2 people. When I unlocked the cabin, I was hit by a thick draft of cheap cigarette. We don't smoke, and neither do the in-laws. I grew up in a smoke-free house, so I'm especially sensitive to that sort of thing. Didn't find the source, but it lingered and made me nauseous all weekend. I get that. Cigarette smoke smells so gross. And cigarette smoke that you didn't create, that would be a real, it's a problem when you know the source, but if you don't know the source and it's just, you walk in your house and it smells like cigarettes, excuse me? No. Didn't find the source, but it lingered and made me nauseous all weekend. Pissed, I'd be pissed. Apart from that, there wasn't much weirdness. There were some dirty dishes in the sink, which could have been my brother-in-law not cleaning up after himself. Maybe know that. But I couldn't shake the feeling that someone had been inside. I had proof. I had no proof. It just felt wrong. In the following weeks, I started monitoring the surveillance camera feed. That's what F's with me the most. Weeks of reviewing it and nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sometimes the motion activated lights come on during the night, but it could as well be a deer or porcupine. Nothing concrete. Except we just came back from there today, and now I think I have a smoking gun. A smoking gun in the smoky room? Since we had a big build planned, re-roofing, we set off about an hour earlier than usual as to do most of our work before the worst of the afternoon sun. That might have thrown off whoever had been lurking. When I got in, I distinctly heard the door on the other side of the cabin slam shut. Nope. Nope. No. They must have heard us arrive and darted off. I'm not really one to give chase, especially when I don't know if the person is dangerous, so I went back to the front patio. By then, they had already disappeared into the forest. Why did you... What? The sliding door was indeed unlocked, which I don't understand. We all have the same checklist to go through when we leave, and every door is listed on there. We did the job, but now I feel like the effer is still around watching us. He thought he knew when we were supposed to get there. He just didn't realize we came on weekends and stayed clear Friday nights. He stayed clear on Friday nights. He knew our exact schedule, enough to fool us for weeks. I suspect he knows about the camera too. If you stay out of frame, it never catches you. Huh, is that how cameras work? Wild. Hey, I'm a home invader. Oh, I'm caught. I'm thinking of installing another one on the opposite side. Yeah, dude, maybe you should, if you're installing security cameras. Oh, I lost focus with my little joke, with my little bit. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Come on. Follow me. There we go. He's thinking of installing another one on the opposite side, which, like, security 101, if you're going to install security cameras, make sure they have coverage of the area that needs to be secured. I don't want to tell my girlfriend her mother's cabin is being hijacked by some creep because she'd never set foot in it again, and it's the last piece of her mother she has left. Then maybe protect it better. But I also don't want to run into this guy ever again. First of all, you didn't run into him. You ran away from him. What character would y'all like to see respond to this story? Which I don't really have strong feelings about one way or the other, obviously. Really, truly just don't have any opinions about the person who wrote this story or the way that they have decided to approach home security. Oh, we got one for Dobby. I saw one for Morgan Freeman earlier. Another one for Morgan Freeman. But it's also Candace twice. Oh, that's two for Dobby. Walk, you're right. What security? I don't know. Okay. Yeah? Is it going to be Dobby? Hey, chat. If you are in the chat and you just joined, you're unsure of what's happening, I just read a creepy story, and you, chat, get to decide what voice I react as. Gabriel Rush. T'Challa should have strong opinions about securing the home. True, Gabe. T'Challa absolutely would have strong opinions. Oh, Gabe, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Appreciate you. Hey, if you guys are on Twitch right now, you can click Gabe and go sub to him. He's a friend of mine. Fellow actor. We were in a movie together called Linoleum, which he starred in, and he did a fantastic job. We were in it with Jim Gaffigan, who was the primary character in that movie, and Ray Seawan. Who was fantastic. You guys should check that out. Anyway. Gabe says, subbing to boost my vote, not get a shout out. Well, that is the way it works. I haven't said that before, but I think that's the way it works now. All right. I think Dobby, no? Dobby. Morgan Freeman. Oh, there's 3 Dobbies. 4 okay, I think it's Dobby. It's got to be Dobby. I'm sorry, Gabe. T'Challa will have to wait for another day. This is not the moment for him. T'Challa would be great. What are you doing? This is not how you protect a home. But the people have spoken.
And the people have selected Dobby.
Rachel, please says, Elmo, LOL, the crash out would be hilarious. Elmo would absolutely crash out, without a doubt. I'm going to move this a little bit. Yeah, we're just going to move, actually, I'm going to move you. Yeah, that's nice. All right, I have a question. Should it be... Should Dobby be in the service of whoever the original poster was? Or should it just be Dobby on the sidelines? Just Dobby observing the situation. I'll let that be up to y'all. Everybody, okay, people are agreeing that T'Challa would be fire, and he for sure would be. T'Challa and Dobby? Ooh. Dobby's the one breaking into the house?
Dobby thinks it's great that you have no improvements to make at all whatsoever. Dobby.
This is Dobby. Dobby wants to live in the house. Dobby is the home invader.
Dobby thinks it's great how you've taken up the mantle of your partner's mother's home. You don't need to lock the door. It's plenty safe. Your neighbors are so nice. I haven't met them. No, of course not. But they do seem nice. They sound so nice. It seems like maybe the neighbors have yards that Dobby might enjoy sleeping in when they can't sleep in other places. By the way, would you mind getting new sheets, maybe a higher thread count? For you, of course, you'd like to make your partner happy. Also, would you mind buying some nicotine patches? I hear that that's a very nice thing to do for guests if they're trying to kick the habit. Just have some nicotine patches in the bathroom that you don't ask any questions about when they disappear. Dobby thinks that would be a great idea. Harry Potter has given me a crusty sock. Oh, Harry Potter has given me a sock, all right. That's what I'm doing here, not in your home. Absolutely not in yours. I would never dare to invade your home while you're not home. From Monday through Thursday, and then Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Of course not, I'd never dream of it. Absolutely not. Oh. Dobby has been looking for a home for quite some time. He hasn't found his forever home. He does have a sock, but that's not a home. No, Dobby would like 4 houses and a roof. Dobby is searching for a home. Okay, Mr. Malfoy gave Dobby a sock. Would you like to live in a sock? No? You'd like to live in a home, wouldn't you? That sounds quite nice to you. Why do you get a home and Dobby has to live in a sock? Does that seem fair? Why do you think Dobby picked up smoking? It's not Dobby's fault. Dobby was dealt a hard hand. Dobby was dealt an unfair card. An unfair card. Dobby doesn't even know all of the phrases that he's trying to say because he's so flustered with his living situation. It's hard out here.
I like how last time I did Dobby was unemployed and looking for a job. And now Dobby is homeless. Why is Dobby having just such a hard time? It's because he's a ghost. It's because he's not around anymore and his spirit is unsettled.
Dobby's just floating around. He can't even find a home in the afterlife. So he's just here complaining, looking for jobs, looking for homes, looking for friends. Smoking cigarettes, which for some reason you can do in the afterlife. They don't allow you much, but they do allow you Marlboros.
Oh, man. Oh. Jeez. That was more fun than it had any business being, for sure. Dobby.
Oh, Dobby. Such a sad life he's living for such a powerful creature.
Oh, man. Okay. We're gonna move on to the next story. Yo, what up? If you are just joining, hello. My name is Jay Walker. I am an actor and an improviser and impressionist. Improviser, I just threw that one in there for the first time. Here's how this show works. I read a story from Reddit. Today's theme is creepy, so it's like creepy, paranormal, scary, spooky stuff. And chat decides what character I'm going to react to the story as. If you were here at the tail end of that, I reacted as Dobby from Harry Potter. But you get to choose. So, confer with your chatmates on this next one. Ugh. That would stress me out. Every single time they stress me out. Nope. I already hate this. This was posted to CreepyEncounters, and the title is Creepy Man Watching Me While Babysitting. Before I start, I must say I haven't told many people this, mostly because it was a very scary experience for me. You're telling the entire internet, so you've now told everybody. This happened in Kelowna, Canada in the 80s. I was about 14 and was babysitting at a neighbor's house while the parents were gone. They had a nice house, like most in the neighborhood, and it was right on the corner where 2 streets connected. My house was right outside a bus stop across from theirs. This happened pretty late in the winter, so it was dark out. This is like they're really setting the scene. This is a perfect nightmare scenario. This happened pretty late at night in the winter, so it was dark out, maybe 11 or 12 at night. I was sitting on the couch when I thought I saw something out the back door. It was one of those glass doors that led to the porch. It was weird though, because I couldn't see much, because it was light inside and dark outside, I'm guessing, the way that light works. She goes on in the very next statement. You know when the lights are on and it's dark out, so you can't see anything but black and your reflection? That's what I saw, because that's how light works. But I could have sworn it looked like something was there. So I got up and walked close to the window. It definitely looked like something was there, but I still couldn't see. I got closer. Still couldn't see. I honestly should have just turned on the lights, obviously. But instead, I put my face right next to the glass and cupped my hands by my eyes to look out. Maybe about 1 inch from my face, on the other side of the glass, was a man. Nope. He looked tall and pale from what I could see, which wasn't much, again, because that's how light works. And he was staring at me very scarily. They wrote "at my very scarily." Keep in mind, he would have been watching from the backyard. Naturally, I jumped back and let out a short scream, but stupid teenage me didn't call the cops. I called my parents instead. Yeah, I'm not gonna pile on because she already called herself stupid for not calling the cops, but my father came over to take a look. There were still footprints in the front and backyard. I don't remember much after that because it just felt like a very unreal experience. You never expect this stuff to happen to you until it does. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the story because I sure didn't enjoy experiencing it. They literally put the peace emoji. FYI, that wasn't me. Yeah, okay. What character would you guys like to see comment on this tale? SDSFC, what up? Welcome to the chat. You are now chat, which gives you the power to vote on what voice you'd like to hear. And the way that you voice your vote is by typing in the chat. Let's see. Johnny Helldiver? Ah, Lala Lindsay. Oh man, that's a trigger for me. We were stalked years ago when I was a kid. SMH people suck. Yeah, I'm sorry. That does suck. That's awful. Autumn, nope. Gone, done, calling the popo. Agreed. I see. Ha ha ha. T'Challa, Pennywise, Elmo, Bernie Mac. Now listen up, America. Hey. All this foolishness. Medea. I don't have a Medea. Could work on it. I see the most votes for Pennywise so far. But y'all are getting, I like that y'all are getting pretty creative with your suggestions. I love it because it's gonna make me learn new stuff. Okay, we got 2 for Bernie Mac. I don't have a Bernie Mac just on deck, so I would have to look it up. And 2 for Medea. So we got 2 for Medea, 2 for Bernie Mac, 2 for Pennywise, and 2 for T'Challa. Oh, well, I guess Lindsay has voted for 3 different characters. All right. I'm going to be the tie-breaking vote right now because I think everything has 2. And I'm going to say Pennywise. I'm going to say, because I haven't done him on the stream yet. We have not yet seen Mr. Wise. Oh, it's so perfect. Oh, it's just, I want him just peeking out.
Hiya, Georgie. You want to play a game, Georgie?
That, by the way, is my hook for Pennywise.
Hiya, Georgie. You can float too, Georgie. You want to play a game?
Actually, just for kicks, I'm going to refresh my Pennywise because I haven't done it in a minute. See if we can hear it.
Hiya, Georgie. Hiya, Georgie. Do you want it back?
You look like a nice boy. I bet you have a lot
You
of
look like
friends.
a nice boy.
Where's he?
I bet you have a lot of nice friends.
I bet I could cheer him up.
I bet I could cheer him up.
Do you want a balloon too, Georgie?
Do you want a balloon too, Georgie?
Well, I'm Pennywise the dancing
I'm
clown.
Pennywise the dancing
Pennywise.
clown.
Yes, me, Georgie.
Yes, me, Georgie. Pennywise. I think you should be more safe, okay? It's really important that you're safe. Lock the doors. Don't let anyone in, except for old Pennywise. Could be friends. You could let me in through the back door. Wouldn't that be fun? So much fun for you and old Pennywise. I was just watching you from the backyard. I just wanted to see what you were doing. It looked so fun. You and that baby. Just babysitting. Pennywise just wanted to play. Wouldn't you like to play with Pennywise? Yes, keep the lights on. It's so dark out here, but it looks so nice inside. Yes, come a little closer. Come a little closer to the window. Peek out. You can't see. Maybe you should open the door. Pennywise just wants to play. It'll be so much fun.
Those eyes while doing this voice.
You have to. If you really find yourself in this situation, maybe what you should do is call the police. Unless you'd like to play. And that's a fine choice, too. Come on down to the sewer with Pennywise, the dancing clown. Oh, man.
Listen. People are bad. Not all people, but some of them, you know? And I think it's important to just generally operate with the assumption that one of those bad people might be around somewhere. Don't assume that everyone is bad, but definitely assume that maybe someone is bad. So if you're hearing weird sounds in the backyard when you're babysitting, maybe first flick off the light inside, flip on the light outside. Whoa! That lets you see them and them not see you.
but I'd like to see you. It's so fun watching you play, watch TV, and eat your popcorn. It looks so delicious. Would you like to share your popcorn? Maybe turn on your lights a little brighter. Unplug your phone. Don't call the police on little old me. Little old Pennywise. I wouldn't hurt you much.
Oh, man. She's a teenager. She learned from the mistake. She posted the story. Boy, oh boy. Humans. All right. I have a couple more. We're just going to keep on rolling just because I know I'm over when I normally get off, but I got two more. So we're just going to do both of them, shall we? So, same drill as always. I'm going to read this story. Tonight's theme is creepy. So, like creepy, weird, paranormal. We're about to get into paranormal, right? Meow. And chat chooses what character I react as. You are a member of chat. That gives you the power. So, prepare your vote as I read this one, which is... Oh, goodbye, Pennywise.
You can float too. I'm floating out of here.
Paranormal occurrences with my daughter. Posted to the Ghost Stories subreddit. Since my now 15-year-old daughter was little, strange occurrences have always happened, and it seems most are centered around her. Not all, but a majority. We've lived in 3 different houses, and every single one we have a story to tell. Commas are so important. Multiple, actually, including family and friends who have experienced things as well. From the time she was little, she was terrified to sleep in her own room due to seeing things, such as a tall man in a black suit. Hate that. To even seeing a lady who tried to talk to her. And the name she had given turned out to be a relative whom she would have never known, whom she would have never known of, who had lived in that home 50 years prior to us. I hope you followed. It's not necessarily written grammatically the best. She wasn't a close relative, nor one that I knew, so she didn't hear this name before. I'm vague on the details, but there are several more encounters that I could talk about for hours. A few months ago, that particular home of ours burnt down, and we are currently renting an old farm home. Before moving into this home, my youngest, 5-year-old daughter, and I were alone. It was late at night, and I was cleaning the upstairs in preparation to move in. While running the vacuum, my daughter frantically stopped me and wanted to leave. I told her, no, I'm busy and need to finish this. Trust the kid. Trust the kid is panicking? Maybe figure out what the kid is panicking about. What are you doing? She said, but mommy, I want to leave because little girl is copying me and I don't like it. I looked at her confused.
Oh, whoa,
What girl?
look at that. New
What are you
follower.
talking about? Thanks, Josh. J. Scotty Don't. Thanks for the follow. I looked at her confused. What girl? What are you talking about? Thinking somehow my oldest came over with a family member and was trying to scare us. But my youngest said, I was singing Ring Around the Rosie and the little girl was singing with me and I don't like it. Here, I'll show you. We don't love a demonstration. Little one began singing and I heard nothing until the very end. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. No voices, but it sounded like little footsteps coming from the downstairs living area, to which my mind envisioned a little kid falling down as the song portrays. Hated it. I was terrified and grabbed the little one and said, okay, maybe we will go. She did a little Scooby-Doo run out of there. I raced downstairs, turning off all the lights, looking around to make sure no one was in there trying to scare us. There was no one, and we bolted out the door. Once I read this next line, you're going to understand why I stopped. We moved in a week later, and things were fine starting off. You had that experience where you ran out of this home and you still decided, yeah, this is the place. This is the spot. I understand it's a week before move-in, but like, bring some sage or something, right? Okay. We moved in a week later and things were fine starting off. No more strange occurrences until this last month. Yeah, because of course there were more. Housing market crazy though, facts. I began hearing and seeing what looks like my daughters walking around from room to room occasionally. Only it's not them. They were either sleeping or in a different part of the house or not there at all. I kept this to myself because I didn't want to scare my girls. Good move. But maybe confide in someone else that's not a child. Yeah? But a few nights ago, my oldest was upstairs in her room and the little one was asleep in my bed. She was having a rough night, scared of some monster, and wanting to sleep with the lights on. I just got her calmed down and to sleep when my oldest screamed. I just lost it. I'm sorry. I accidentally hit back. Now I have to find it again. I'd just gotten her calmed down and to sleep when my oldest screamed from the upstairs and came bolting down the stairs. She was screaming for her little sister, who, as she could see, was asleep in my arms. My oldest was purely terrified and began crying and explained that she was sitting at her vanity and looked in the mirror when she heard her door slowly crack open.
New follower.
And there, she explained, was my youngest holding the doorknob, just standing there grinning. Hate that. My oldest immediately turned to ask her what she was doing up so late, but as she turned to look, she was gone. It scared my oldest so bad, and she swore on her life she saw her there, then disappear. And that her door even opened, which scared her to begin with because she wasn't expecting anyone up there so late. She was on FaceTime with a friend who claimed to hear the door opening and watched my oldest turn her head to see who was there and freak out when no one was there. As I said previously, that I've seen them too when they aren't really there. My oldest now has two. I'm certain we aren't crazy, as I've had others witness things too in every home we live in. I feel my oldest is maybe sensitive to the paranormal, maybe. Oh, maybe all three of us are. I don't understand why these crazy things always happen to us. What character would you guys like to see me respond as? I'm so stressed out. I hate that. I hate that so much. Somebody appearing in your home that is like a family member and it's not them. I'd be like, first, I'm going to check and see if there's a carbon monoxide leak. And then I'm leaving. I'm leaving and never returning. Morty? All right, we got one vote for Morty. Go for Jerry. Jerry from Rick and Morty. Kronk, says Rachel. Kronk. Elton. We haven't had a Morty tonight. All right, that's 2 for Morty, 2 for Kronk. 1 for Elton, 1 for Jerry. I don't even know how to do Elton. I don't have an Elton. I will say that that is the one, like, people in my life, that is the one that I won't just, like, look up and figure out how to do. Because it's so much harder. Kronk. Josh. Krona Rink. Krona Rink. Krona Rink. As they say. Kronk. All right, that's 3 for Kronk. Kronk is winning. Kronk is winning. Any other votes? Going once. Going twice. And we are up. There we go. Can I change my vote to Vegeta from Dragon Ball? Kakarot! Yes, I will destroy my voice, Kakarot. I think you have to smoke a blizzy. All right, it's definitely gonna be Kronk. The poison for Cusco. Cusco's poison. The poison made specifically to kill Cusco. That poison? All right. Okay, seems like you've got a really spooky situation here. So, as I understand it, you have 1 mom, 2 daughters, spooky house, spooky series of houses. I feel like maybe the ghosts are following you. I feel like maybe you're the problem. I feel like maybe you should just learn to talk to the ghosts like I talk to the squirrels. So when I talk to squirrels, I pretty much go, Squeety, oh, what is it? What is it? Help me. Squeak, squeakity squeaker, squeak, squeak, squeakity squeak, squeak. That's how I speak to squirrels. So maybe for spirits, you need something new. Maybe you need to learn the spirit language. I think it'd go a little something like this. Boo! Boobity boo! Boo, boo, boo! Boo, boo, boo! Boo, boo, boo! Boo! Boo, boo! Boo, boo! Not to be confused with either boobs or poop. I'm saying boo. Just to be clear, it's boo. Boo, boo. Like, ah, boo, scare me, ah. Oh no. Maybe learn the language. Maybe you shouldn't be so upset about these ghosts in their house when you haven't even tried to talk to them. Maybe get on Duolingo for ghosts. I mean, I have mastered the language already, but you could give it a shot. It's a pretty tough language to learn. Pretty much goes Mandarin, Spanish, ghost. But I mastered it in about 10 seconds. Boo! Boobity boo! 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 If you want to get some advanced spirits, you could also go, ah! Agony, ah! Ah! Ooh! I wouldn't expect you to learn that quite so fast, but it's there. Maybe one day you achieve that level of language greatness like I have. You can commune with all types of creatures. Boobity boo! Ah! Ooh! Boo! Boo! That might solve your problem. But really, since you can't speak ghost, maybe you should leave. Leave. Run. Get away. Get out. Nothing good can come of this. In fact, your plight gives me the heebie-jeebies. And the Scooby-Doobies. You're giving me the Scooby-Doobies with your creepy crawlies and your scary stories. I'm not loving it. Squeaker. Squeaker squeaking. Oh, man. Well, all right. I think we're gonna move on. I think Kronk really solved this one. That was half Jay, half Kronk. Kronk really found the solution. Speak to the ghosts. Just talk to them. Maybe have a nice conversation. Hey, ghost, why are you in my house? What are you doing here? Can I help you with something? Would you like some food? I don't know if you can eat. What do ghosts eat? I'm so sorry. I'm speaking to you in a language that you can't understand. Boo! Boobity boo, boo, boo. Boobity boobity boo. Boo boo boo. You get all that? Good. So you'll leave my house forever and not scare the poop out of me? Me and my kids would like to have a nice, peaceful life. Maybe you can go haunt my neighbors. Their grass is way too long and they complain about mine. They have weird signs in their yard that are pretty aggravating, and I think that's the point. You should go haunt them. All right. We have one story left. One story left. And then we're going to call it a night. P.S. By the way, we're going to be on again next Monday, same time, 6 p.m. Probably going to be about 6:05 if I'm doing the same thing I did this week and trying to make things work at the last second. But the good news is, figured out the camera problem. That's not going to be a problem anymore. We're not going to have to do little be right back screens. Famous last words. But I'd like to communicate with all the tech ghosts in my area. Boo! Boobity boo! Boo boo boo! Boobity boobity boo! Boo. 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 I think they understand. That really did fly by, didn't it? May I just say that I really do enjoy this. Like, it's super fun. There's always, from week to week, like, I'm doing little tweaks and trying to figure out, like, what works and what doesn't. And obviously, we're just gonna, like, keep doing this and growing. And, like, there's a whole other aspect of this, like, endeavor that's like, how do I make this the best possible thing for people to be able to, like, find and enjoy? But on the creative content making side of this, it's like, it's a really fun exercise. It's super fun. It's super fun chatting with y'all, being here. Like, thank you for tuning in. You could definitely be doing other stuff, but you're here. And I appreciate that. So, thank you. And I hope you're having as much fun as I do. And if you have cool ideas, hit me with them. Hit me with them. In fact, like, comment when you could comment on the VOD after, or comment on, like, the community post on the community page, or whatever. Drop a comment. All of your input is, like, I read every single comment. I read every single comment. So, thank you in advance. All right, this is gonna be the last story. Last one. Everyone say goodbye to Kronk. Boo! Boo, boo. Boobity boo. 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 Bye, boo. Goodbye, boo. Boo, bye. That's actually how you say bye in Ghost. Boo, bye. Formal. Informal is just boo. Now you know. Okay. On to the next one. This is going to be the last story for the night. If you are just joining, hello, welcome. My name is Jay Walker. I'm an actor and an impressionist, and we're reading creepy stories from Reddit tonight. And the way this works is I read the story as me, I comment along the way as me, and then chat, which is you, decides what character I will react to the story as. We just had Kronk in here, who had a lot of opinions about talking to ghosts, which, for the record, I agree with 110%. And, yeah, that's basically the way it goes. So, here comes the story. And then y'all hit me with the characters you want to see. Yeah? Yeah. This is called My The Mist Experience and was posted in Glitch in the Matrix. This wasn't recent. It was about 2016 or 2017. I debated on which subreddit to post this story in and decided it might go well here. I've been thinking about this story a lot lately. It happened to both my grandfather and I, but he has since passed away, and therefore I can't really brainstorm possible explanations with him. We'll brainstorm. So it's up to all of you to clue me in on what might have happened. Us? Whoa! I live in Texas. If there's one thing about us, it's that we're no strangers to long drives. I moved in with my grandparents in high school. My granddad, being the sweetheart that he was, drove me to school meetings, drove me to school in the mornings, and never complained about the 45-minute drive that it was each way. That's a baller, Grandpa. One particular morning, it was dark as it usually was during the time we had to leave in order to get there by 7 a.m. Again, baller, Grandpa, dude. Man, that's love. We were both rather quiet on the drive that morning, and we were content to listen to the talk radio that was playing. We were about 15 minutes into the drive when I noticed we were approaching fog on the highway. In my area, we don't get fog often, so I genuinely don't know if fog usually builds up gradually or if it's normal to just have a thick curtain of insanely dense and unmoving fog just appear in the short distance. In my experience, fog just does kind of show up. You just like drive into it and then suddenly you're in fog. But it is scary. But that's not the part that weirds me out, though. It's what happened when we entered. When we entered, there was no visibility. There was no way to see cars in the 4 or 5 lanes of traffic just on our side of the highway alone. They just vanished. It was so thick, we couldn't see but maybe a foot in front of us. But I noticed it was oddly quiet. I couldn't hear any of the traffic anymore or even the sound of the friction between our own tires and the road. Then, if the vibes weren't eerie enough, the fog turned into the brightest light engulfing the car imaginable. This wasn't potential headlights from the other side of the highway on the basis that the light was just too bright. It was like lightning struck us, except the duration was maybe a minute, I think. Every window you looked at was just this white light that almost hurt to look at. During this time, our radio started breaking up and eventually cut out completely. And then, as quickly as the light came on, it just vanished. And when it did, the fog vanished too, and all the typical noises of the highway came flooding back in, as did the radio. Yo. I just got chills. We both kind of looked at each other as if to say, that was strange. And it is. And when I even started to ask what it was, my granddad just said, I don't want to talk about it. I think it genuinely disturbed him. Listen, when ballin' out boss grandpa who drives 45 minutes both ways to take his grandson to school every day is like, nope, that's too much. Something went down. Something went down. That grandpa, like, I know that type of dude, and that dude doesn't back down from anything, including a difficult conversation about something weird that just happened. So it must have just been like really, really, really weird. Another strange fact about it all is that the drive was mysteriously cut in half despite us going not even a third of the speed in the fog. Anyway, again, there has to be a reason that happened. What do you all think the light was? I would not like to experience that. I mean, in terms of like experiencing something weird and paranormal, I feel like that's pretty harmless. It's not like he has missing time. Time sped up. Like, it seems like he has missing distance more than missing time. They got to their destination faster. Normally, if it was like I haven't gotten to tell y'all this. A few years ago, I got extremely invested in like UFOs and abduction stories and whether or not the government has been hiding technology from extraterrestrial, non-human species, whatever. I learned a lot about it, and I got super interested in it. So this is like kind of a pet category for me that I enjoy. But usually in stories like that, you have missing time, not shortened time. So like, unless they blinked out and then blinked back in, and it was way later, I would say that doesn't feel like an abduction to me. But I don't know what character. If you are a member of chat, you get a vote, and that vote is so important. We're gonna exercise our democracy here today, and you get to vote for a character that I react to this story as. There is a list in the chat that is popping up here and again. Or if you've got a character that you're like, I think he'd maybe be able to do that, or not, and it'd be funny, put it in the chat. Throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat. You know? Just throw it in the chat. We got Bernie Sanders. We got Bernie Sanders, which I didn't exactly start doing the voice before, but now I'm doing it. We have who else? We have Coach Steve. We have Donkey. We have 2 votes for Donkey. Kevin Hart. I don't have a Kevin Hart. I actually don't have a Kevin Hart. Lindsay voted twice again. Well, I shouldn't say again because last time she voted 3 times. We should not have 1% of the chatters submitting 99% of the votes. Okay? That is not how the system is supposed to work. Okay? Lindsay, we appreciate you. We love you. You can only vote 1 time. Okay? Your vote counts just as much as everyone else's. Donkey. Alaskan Warrior. Hey. Yeah, I missed last Thursday. I didn't end up streaming on Thursday. I did not end up streaming on Thursday. I didn't have time to make it as good as I wanted it to be. So I didn't stream. Pushed it to this Thursday. I'm still kind of figuring out that other show format. May or may not do it this weekend. I want to make sure that this show is really good, perhaps, before I start adding more stuff. So we'll see. I don't like doing things that are like mid. I like to stand behind anything that I put on here. So, we'll see. I also need to do like gaming streams too. That's important. And will become increasingly more important as time goes on, which you will understand what I'm talking about very soon. Okay? People are peopling and not voting. It's okay. Lurkers can lurk. Lurkers, I appreciate you for being here. If you'd like, give a thumbs up. Give a thumbs up and a subscribe. Helps me out a lot. Helps the channel. Helps us keep this thing moving. Unless you're hate watching. If you're hate watching, thanks for being here. Thanks for the view. Okay. We have the alien from American Dad, Roger. Oh, Francine. Roger. Francine. Stan. Oh. It's funny because he almost has like a Cleveland quality to his voice. Because Cleveland is back here. No. But Roger actually kind of does the same thing. Whoa, Francine. Come on, Francine. Stan. Huh. You guys watched me discover that in real time. I think it's Donkey. I think Donkey wins. I think it's got to be Donkey. And you know what? Nobody's ever mad at Donkey. Okay? Ooh, Donkey's gonna have some real opinions about this whole The Mist experience, okay? So what you telling me is your grandpa, who sounds very nice by the way, what a kind gentleman. What a good man. I hope you said thank you. I hope you said, Grandpa, you're the best grandpa ever. You driving me to school every single day? Every single day? 45 minutes? That's an hour and a half of your life every single day. Every day. 5 days a week? Whew. That's crazy. That's a full-time job every day. That's one work day every week. Whew, that's just a lot of time. Okay? So first of all, I just hope you showed the proper amount of appreciation for cool grandpa. Man, that's a good grandpa. So you driving along. Oh, okay, we're just listening to talk radio. Talk radio because that's what you do when you're in the car with your grandpa. You gonna let him choose the radio station because you better not make a suggestion. That man is giving you his life force. This man is giving you literally his dwindling life energy. So you better let him listen to whatever he wants on the radio. You better get your Red Hot Chili Peppers out of here. Okay? We don't want to listen to none of y'all Jonas Brothers. Okay? No. We don't want to hear your Coldplay. All right? None of this. None of these things. No, we are listening to AM talk radio. Not even on the FM. FM, as my grandpa said, stands for F me. I ain't listening to that. Okay? You better put it on the AM because I'm about to have a morning. Oh, we're listening to talk radio. Talk radio, okay? So we're just moving along, talk radio. I wonder what was on the radio. That may have been an integral part of this story, which we did not get any information on. What was on the radio? Was it like, hey, oh, you're listening to NPR. We are talking in our most boring voice. And you may have heard about alien abductions. If you're driving through mist and fog right now, you may experience one. We're gonna check in. It's so hard to do an impression of Donkey trying to do an NPR. Hold on, hang on. I can do this. NPR clip. I just need to hear like their opening little.
Hi, I'm Catherine Marr, CEO of NPR.
This isn't even, that's not what I'm looking for. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Donkey doing the news. I'm gonna move on. Okay. Anyways, y'all listen to the NPR public radio and driving into this mist, and maybe there was a little warning. Maybe somewhere in there was a little warning that was like, you're listening to NPR. Ooh, if you look up and you might notice a alien spacecraft hovering above you. More at 9. Ain't that crazy? Listen, I don't listen to a lot of NPR, okay? I'm a donkey. You ever tried to wear headphones as a donkey? No, you haven't, because you're not a donkey. They don't make them for me. And plus, I don't want to just walk around everybody knowing I'm listening to NPR. That's embarrassing, okay? I'm not a cool grandpa. Maybe one day when I'm just taking my little grandbabies to school. Not gonna walk them 45 minutes both ways. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't love anyone enough for that. And I never will. Never will. Never will. Anyway, we in the fog now. We have entered the fog. And, oh, what is that? Ooh, it's suddenly quiet. The sound is so muted. Oh boy, this is crazy. What is happening? Okay. Oh, it's a little peaceful at first. Grandpa likes it. Grandpa does like the peace because, again, AM radio. So this just kind of goes along with his whole aesthetic. Grandpa's enjoying the vibes. Okay. And then suddenly, ooh, it gets even quieter. Oh, there's just no sound at all. This went from being fun to being terrifying. Well, I'm not scared though. It's fine. It's fine. I got my cool grandpa right here, right? I got my cool grandpa. My cool grandpa who never panics over nothing. My cool grandpa, I look over my grandpa's like. And then suddenly I'm scared. Okay? I'm scared. I don't like this. Thing is, my grandpa's making noise. I can't hear the noise. And then all of a sudden, there's bright lights everywhere. What am I going to do with bright lights? Look at them, I guess. So I'm looking in the bright lights. Can't find any information in the bright lights. It's just, oh, yep, that's bright. So, what do? Nothing. Because I can't do anything because I'm just a young man who's getting driven to school by his grandpa and we are suddenly in a bunch of fog. Bunch of weird, creepy fog. And then all of a sudden it goes away. I don't know, maybe what happened is you just got real close to heaven. You know, sometimes there's places in the world where our reality and another reality are just real close together. And maybe just on this one day, because you was listening to the NPR on the AM radio, and you was with your grandpa, who sadly left us very soon after this, and you know, the wires just got a little crossed. And it was just like, oh, you're supposed to be in heaven now. So we're just gonna give you a little piece of heaven. Yep. And then they realized, they were like, oh, nope, there's a little boy in there. We was only supposed to take the grandpa. Only supposed to take the grandpa, not the little boy. So we gotta take him back. Put him back. Yeah, you can drive your little boy to school. Okay, you go ahead. And then they left us. And grandpa said, I don't want to talk about it. Because, listen, what they didn't say, grandpa didn't want to talk about it because grandpa had a whole conversation about how this was a big mix-up. And he had to be like, hey, listen, I'm here with my little grandson. You see me driving him to work. This ain't my time to go to heaven. Okay? So leave me alone. You can get me later. And sure enough, they did. They went and got him. I think I solved it. Donkey solved the mystery. That's what happened. That is what happened. That is the experience. Mr. Crime Rates. What a weird name. Crime Rates? Why's your name Crime Rates? That's a weird name. You probably listen to that on NPR, huh? That sounds like an NPR topic. Uh-huh. That's probably it. Absolutely. Okay, well that is pretty much it. Hey, when I say pretty much, that is actually it. That is the last story of the evening. Everybody say goodbye to Donkey. You have a good time, Donkey? Yeah, Donkey had a great time. It's always a good time with Donkey. Let's just take that out of context. It's always a good time with Donkey. I'm going to repeat it so you get it clean. This was very fun. We went 2 hours. I didn't expect to do that. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There were some new faces in here, which is sick. If you're new and you're just now joining, I'm so sorry you reached the end. There's going to be a replay that's uploaded like now. So you can check out the vertical replay immediately or like tomorrow-ish. Probably Wednesday, actually. I will upload the horizontal version onto my YouTube channel. Which, if you see it, please give it a like and a thumbs up. And that's the same thing. And subscribe. And yeah, hey, y'all, I'll see you on the next Monday, as they say. Same time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, for more of this. Yeah? Yeah. Sick. Appreciate y'all. This was real fun. I will catch you later.